Young Perk from Cali.
What's going on, 49er faithful? It's your boy Chili Will on the 49er Street Squad, and are you ready for 49er Street Squad pre-game huddle with my boy Antonio Arevalo, man? Let's bring him in and let's get this thing started right now. Antonio Arevalo, how you doing, man? Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, man. How you been?
All is well, Chili Will. Back at you, man. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family. Thanks for having me on again, bro.
Oh, man, I appreciate you being on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't even sure, this show was going to even pop up. I said, we'll check with Antonio because, like I said, I respect people's weekends when it comes to the holidays, especially a Thanksgiving holiday. But you know what? We got a big game, man, coming up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I had to talk to somebody about it. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me call him up, see if he's available. Let me see if he's available, see if we can do this, right?
hey, out of nowhere, we're just pumped up right now, talking playoff talk. We weren't talking like that a couple of weeks ago, right? So this run right now that we're on, we got to keep riding that wave.
Exactly. And just to say, the Niners are taking on the Vikings this Sunday, tomorrow, okay, at 125, right? It's going down. Two teams, 5-5, and now both of them. We're lucky. We're actually like in the playoffs right now. We're in like the 7th position, right?
Right.
We have the Vikings. They're in 6th place, I think, right now. So we, it's kind of, we kind of trying to still fight our way in there, make sure our foot stays in the door. Big game on Sunday, and man, I know it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be lit, and it's gonna be a very, very exciting game. And when we get started here, I was just going to say that, we got our head coach, Vikings head coach, Mike Zimmer, right, coming in here on offense. They got wide receiver Justin Jefferson, wide receiver Adam Thielen, running back Delvin Cook, and so we're going to see, this is going to be a good dogfight come Sunday, Antonio.
This is our playoff game, Chili Will, and right now the Niners are moving. We're getting healthy right around the right time. We got D Ford coming back. We're getting some players back, and so we just have to be like, as fans, we have to be loud. We have to show this Viking team why we should have home field advantage in this game. And like I said, I had to jump on with you because this is a big game. I can't wait. For this game. The tailgate's going to be live. The energy is in the air. This is probably going to be the biggest tailgate of the year too.
Oh man, I know. We're gonna definitely get into more of that near the end of the show. But just to get things kicked off, my first question to you is, how do you think the Niners prepare, get ready for the Vikings this Sunday?
Well, I think they're dialed in already. I think that this is, you got D Ford coming back. He's going to hopefully, get some respect on that defensive line that may free up Bosa, who is having a hell of a year. And, the defense seems like they're playing. I love what Jimmy Ward is doing as a leader. I mean, even if you go and look at some of his post-game stuff, he's dialed in. And so they're pumping me up. And like you said before, 10-6, 1988 team, we squeaked into the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl's in LA this year. We're going to be playing in LA at the last game of the season against the Rams. So this is coming down to the wire. You're seeing the entire schedule play out. We got the Vikings. We can't really look forward until we handle this business on this game. But I think it's just one game at a time right now. And I think this is the one. This is the challenge.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And like you said, playoff atmosphere, we need the Empire, the Fable, everybody to show up strong in this game. You think the game against the Rams on Monday night was big, which it was. And they came out and we just smoked them. You know what I'm saying? We got to have another duplicate performance. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm like, oh boy, and I just know, like you said, I just know the guys are going to be focused, man. Like you said, Jimmy Ward is just, he kind of just said, he one of the older members of the team, right? Sat down with the guys, said, listen, we got to get our minds and our focus straight. we gotta go out here and take care of some
Right.
business. You know what I mean? So I like the whole tone of how the team is just approaching this now. And you get to see, like I said, you get to see the whole mindset of everybody. It looks like they're
Right.
just like in a different groove right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not lost like they were weeks ago when things were just getting a little out of whack, and due to injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, should the 49ers continue to stick to the running game with Debo as running back?
That, so that's a great question, right? Let's talk about that. This 2-game winning streak, Shanahan has controlled the clock on offense, and that was through the running game. Getting Debo involved more, even if what was his receiving yards, passing wasn't the greatest, but he was running the ball like a beast. So
almost had 100 yards rushing. It was like about, I think, close to 80 something yards, if I remember right.
He's having a season, right? But let's talk about the Shanahan play calling here, because I think that this run, we talked about it a couple of weeks back. If we're going to make a difference, Shanahan has to control the clock to keep the defense fresh and to keep the other team, whoever we're playing against, off the field. And it looks like, what was the drive that took almost the entire quarter? We handled the ball.
That's the first time. That's the first time a team in 2 games controlled the ball for that long in the first quarter. They said that's never been done since like early, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So that says a lot.
Now, when we look at the play calling in the end, we could have went for it on 4th down to score a touchdown, but he chose to kick the field goal,
which I thought was a good thing.
I thought so too, because he was a little aggressive. Let's go back to that Arizona game where we left points off the board that could have been guarantees that won that game. And we cannot have momentum shifts in a game like that, especially on the road. Get your points, and then let the defense settle in. And I think when you give your defense a rest, when the team is balling like that and feeling the energy on offense, guys they're spreading the ball around. You got Kittle involved. You got the blocking. Look at the blocking on the offensive line, and you're running the ball, man.
Yeah.
Control the clock. Control the clock. And
if it wasn't for a good couple of penalties too that helped keep that drive going, which was good. But going back to that first drive and that first touchdown, now, do you feel that they should have went for that touchdown, or were you cool with the 3 points? Because I'm thinking. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, just real quick, because what I was thinking at the time, I was like, okay, they're right down there in the red zone. Okay, why don't we go with the Lance package or something? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, come on, Kyle. We just get the boy in, because they ain't gonna know what to expect, right? He might run or he might pass it off, do something, But again, I felt okay with the 3 points, as long as they did get something out of it. But I think if they put Lance in a little bit earlier, maybe we could have done something. But
I think the whole stadium knows when Lance is in, it's going to be a rollout run. The question is, when you control the clock for, 13, 12 minutes in the first quarter like that for one drive, you got to get the points, because if you come up with no points, then the momentum changes to the other team. We're on the road, and we did this already against Arizona. That drive reminds me of how fast we started in Arizona when we lost that game and Trey Lance was starting. And, remember, he gets stopped on the 1-inch line, and it just changed the momentum. And you start thinking, you lose by a few points. If you start kicking these field goals, you get points on the board, you stay in the game. We got to respect everybody we play. And I think Shanahan going for the 3, it made value on that whole drive. Because I'll tell you what, we can play devil's advocate, but if they go for it on 4th down, they don't get it, and you just feel like, man, what a terrible waste of a drive. So you get your guaranteed points, and then you put your defense out there, and you see what they can do. And I think controlling that clock, giving guys rest on defense. Look at Bosa; he had 2 sacks. They were teeing off. And he looks like He-Man on the edge. I'm like, I need to get on that protein diet right there.
Exactly. You're right, man. This brother looking like a superhero in a freaking Niner uniform, but them guns are sticking out there. Damn. Oh God, his thighs look like I don't know.
And they're holding 16-inch
guns off the New Jersey or something, Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but yeah, go ahead, man.
So it was exciting, and I got pumped up. So me and the family, we did a staycation in the city, watched the
Mhm.
game in the city,
Oh, nice.
had the fam out, and I needed that energy because I was like
Yeah,
not feeling this team. You got to switch it up. I'm a little superstitious with the family. Funny
yes.
story today, I put on SpongeBob for my daughter, and she goes, "No, Daddy, put on Niners."
SpongeBob's man.
She's 3 years old. She goes, "Put on Niners, Daddy." And I was
Yeah,
like, "So well, she's even pumped up right now with the
right,
Niners. So she don't even want to
right,
watch cartoons."
nice.
So we got to get ready. We got to get ready. The kids got to get ready. Everybody, the whole house has to be ready. We weren't talking playoff talk, and so
We weren't.
this
We
game
didn't
is
even think it was
exciting.
possible.
Didn't think it was possible. This game is exciting. What did Dallas lose to the Raiders? You got Green Bay that lost. And so it put the Niners in a position to actually play for something. And then, uh, we got a schedule that's favorable. So one
Mhm.
game at a time. Shanahan
Right.
has to continue to play conservative game manager offensive calls, and the team is coming together. And Jimmy G is
Mhm.
balling right now. Jimmy G
He
is
is.
dialed in.
Right. I agree. I think I feel that he's playing within himself, he's playing his game, which is always the short game,
Yep, yep.
short passes and stuff. Um, you know, more on that in a second, but in 2019, okay, defense sacked Cousins 6 times.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Does D'Amico Ryans dial up the same kind of pressure on Cousins? I think Bosa had like two. I think Armstead got a sack. D Ford, I think, had a couple. And D Ford, like you said, D Ford is going to be back, and maybe Greenlaw. So might have both
Yeah,
our players back in
yeah,
perfect
yeah.
time. But how do you feel the defense takes it to Minnesota and Kirk Cousins?
I think you have to keep playing the same momentum. I think the season is on the line. I think these guys know how important this game is.
Mhm.
The key to this game will be pressure that the defensive line puts on the quarterback. And we have to get that pressure so that our cornerbacks can still play loose. Guys are playing a little looser. We talked about this, right? When you
Mhm.
got guys diving for interceptions, getting the right tips, fumbles, picking up fumble, that's energy. So
Mhm.
good energy, right? And then we're playing at home. I think this is a key home game for Levi Stadium.
Yes,
They
it
weren't
is.
playing well at home, but were we, they say it's a young season. Look, we're right
Mhm.
back in it. We have no room for mistakes. So I think you get D Ford back, and I'd like to see him get some pressures. I actually, D Ford is a key element
Mhm.
to our entire defense and our playoff run right now. So keeping
Yeah.
him healthy, Greenlaw's back. Let's see what he does. I think you can't go wrong having guys starting to get healthy during this run. And,
Mhm.
let's see what happens. I think the key to this game, again, will come down to controlling the ball on offense, the running game.
Mhm.
You got Elijah Mitchell. They're talking about he might be playing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wilson Jr. had a hell of a game. I mean, we talked
Oh,
about who
yeah,
was
he
going to
did.
start, who was going to
Yeah.
play. Wilson Jr. came and he dialed it up last week. So I'm happy with Wilson Jr. being back. I think as far as injuries and health, that's a key player on offense because he was,
Mhm.
during the 2020 season, he had
Mhm.
his playing time where there was no fans in the stands, and you started seeing Wilson Jr. come along, and then he had the injury in the offseason, so he's back now. Man, we needed him last week with Elijah Mitchell out. So I feel comfortable with our running game right now, and the way that
Mhm.
our offensive line is blocking against the run. You got our offensive tackle playing the best in the NFL. You got Kittle blocking, just putting people on their backs. So let's
Yeah.
let's keep that going.
Yeah.
That third and short is what is going to be key to every game going forward. We can't be 3rd and 10. We got to be like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, third and 4. Keep it light, run the ball, manage the game, keep your guys rested on defense, and then dial it up when it's their time.
Yeah, exactly. And and when you brought it up, Kittle, I mean, it really shows the big difference to me in the offense with his presence out there, because
Yeah.
like you said, with his blocking ability as a tight end, and of course what he brings as a tight end, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, he's that extra jolt in the arm on the
Yeah.
offensive line. I think oh, I didn't get the gentleman's name, but the one that covered for McGlinchey, because he's been out.
Yes.
I think he's been doing a great job, and Jimmy's been having that little extra time to throw the ball, you know what I mean, especially
Right.
during passing situations. So I think that's really good. Do you feel our secondary can hold Jefferson and Thielen?
We talk about that, right? So that's going to depend on the pressure, and it's going to depend on how our defensive coordinator dials it up. But I will tell you this, he has to be consistent, and he needs to be ready with adjustments if it's not working. And we talked about, this 4-3 defense. Sometimes you put your cornerbacks on an island. Maybe we play the nickel. Maybe we play something. But when you control the clock on offense, that you don't got to worry about that. So that's how it's got to be a well-balanced game. I think the team has not played well-balanced in the beginning of the season. Now you're seeing this balance in the last 2 wins. There shouldn't be anything that we change in that process going forward. But it all starts with the running game. It all starts with guys, not going 3 and out and leaving our defense out there all day. I think there's going to be, here's the other thing too on defense. When you look at Kirk Cousins, he can run the ball, but he's not really that mobile quarterback. We have problems with mobile quarterbacks. So yeah, we got 6 sacks last time. Let's get 6 sacks again. The team knows he's not going anywhere. I think when we play guys that are a little bit nifty in the pocket, that's when we have I start getting nervous. So this is going to be a challenge. It's a battle of 5-5 teams. It's going to come down to heart too, because Vikings had a big win against Green Bay. What a crazy game they overcame, right? That was a hell of a game. And so they got a little momentum, but maybe they might be a little
they're feeling
tired
themselves.
out.
They're feeling themselves a little bit, man. They beat, like you said, they beat the Chargers the week before that, and they beat now Green Bay, team we lost to. So they're feeling good about themselves, and I'm sure they're thinking pretty confident about coming into Levi, thinking that we got these guys. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. And guys know, here's the thing. The letdowns that I see or when we're supposed to win, guys play then we start making mistakes. When the back is against the wall, we're kind of gauging what team we have right now. And our back is against the wall. And I like the way we're playing right now. And we do have to hit the pedal to the metal. There is no time to waste on this season. This is a huge game. This game could define our season right now. So they know that. I'm sure the coaches are telling them that. And those are the conversations in the locker room that we don't get to hear, right? We can talk about it.
Would you like to be a fly on the wall just to hear what's going on in that locker room, boy, and what Kyle's talking to him, what the team, what the team captain's doing and pumping these guys up, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, and man. So that's exciting. When you go into this game, I wasn't thinking 3 weeks ago what week 5 or, what this 5-5 team would be. But now you're in this playoff talk again, and all we got to do is get back in that talk. The guys start playing for something again. Remember, we don't have a first-round pick, so we got to ball out now. This team is talented. I think Richard Sherman had a little quote that said that how talented this team is. So, we have the guys. It's just maybe we started off slow. I don't know, man, but let's see what happens. It's exciting. It's exciting again.
It is. And let's see what I was going to say. My next question here. Well, I was going to ask you is how you feel about Ford and Greenlaw, coming in and playing on defense, which we already kind of touched on, which is a big thing because, you need those guys, especially like you said, D Ford, to be able to put that pressure. This is going to, Minnesota's going to know they're going to, Cousins, he's going to have his hands full. Right, and I expect D'Amico Ryans getting ready to bring the pressure.
Right.
On Sunday, because one thing about Cousins, and I guess the same for Jimmy, but we get pressure in his face, get him rattled a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna play his best game because the man can throw. Cousins can throw. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's got Jefferson out there. This brother's gonna be, running his post routes, whatever, and just chucking it down. And that's how they kind of got back at Green Bay. If you watch the game, I mean, he threw some pretty big. Yeah. And right when he had pressure in his face too, a lot of times, he may plead some big passes, what that was pretty impressive. So I was kind of like, wow, Cousins. I'm not a big fan of Cousins, but I know the boy could ball a little bit, but I know he's not the guy that's going to always get you to the playoffs. That's why I'm glad, Kyle Shanahan decided not to ever pick him up. So
let's talk about that too, right? This was
Even-
Kyle Shanahan's guy that he wanted. He
Mhm.
didn't want Jimmy G. He wanted Kirk Cousins. So,
yeah,
it looks like Jimmy G, I think, is the better player, honestly. I think that the way this game is going to have to go against Kirk Cousins, we have to make him one-dimensional. We have to stop that run. We should have beat Green Bay. And I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
we
if
should
the
have,
season would have been different with the win against Green Bay, even the win against, if we would have beat Arizona, those two games were heartbreakers. So,
they were.
I think that this is, they felt heartbreak already early in the season. To be in the position as the San Francisco 49ers, to see this coaching staff dial it up, I'm excited. Lost you for a second there.
Yeah.
But what I
but-
was saying is Shanahan calling a balanced offensive, with the running game and giving guys rest on defense. It's very basic. It's very fundamentals, but it gives DeMeco Ryans a better play calling for a rookie defensive coordinator. And I want him to be in a good position, because the last thing we need is to start firing guys in the off season for coaching staffs and then needing to bring in new guys, because we go through growing pains, right? So I think I'm excited that he's doing well, because we can all put our GM hats on and say this guy's got to go, and we're all upset when we're losing, but when we're winning, I mean, guys are balling now, and this game is key. This is a key game in our entire season, in the direction that we can go in, because the schedule is a little favorable going forward.
Right. And I agree a lot, because my thing as far as the defense, and you're right, that is great that the offense stays out there, defense gets some good rest, but I think it's going to really come down to our secondary. I think these guys really have to be ready for Jefferson and Thielen, because they're the big playmakers, and if they could just, obviously Norman's gotten so much better since he's been here. He's kind of almost turned back the clock a little bit, back to his old pro self, from a few years ago, so he's looking really great. And
what has he got? Six forced fumbles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and he's got the most in the NFL right now.
With broken ribs. With broken ribs.
With fractured ribs, right? And then you got Emmanuel Mosley on the other side, and this brother, he's just getting better and better each passing game, you know. So, I mean, these guys to me just got to bring their A game and be ready for. I don't know who guy who covers who. Probably Mosley's going to most likely be on Jefferson, I think.
Yeah,
they'll put Norman on Thielen, but that's just my guess. But anyway, but we might, like you said, might see maybe like a kind of nickel package. Might see 5 nickelbacks out there at the same time, quarterbacks, because they're going to need that, but of course you can't forget about Cook, because this brother, man, he's a great running back, sees the holes really good, and man, the guy's got that speed, that burst that he can just take off. So linebackers have to be ready for that, Fred Warner.
He's shifty. He's very shifty.
Yeah. Like I say, very patient, getting the holes, sees them openings, and he tacks them. And he's off and running. So if we don't get a bite on that, before he goes, but I'm sure they will be when he's out there. Just like last time, he's going to be locked in. I mean, the defense is going to be locked in on him. Let's see. My next question to you is going to be, what does Jimmy have to do to make sure this team wins?
Jimmy has to play a safe game. He can't make mistakes. He's got to, even in the pocket. Sometimes when that pocket starts closing up, you want to yell and hope he can hear you, like, hold the ball, because guys are coming around that edge, and with McGlinchey out, he took a couple of sacks, but he's been hanging on the ball. He cannot make mistakes. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quick, and I think he just has to play a sound game. Let's not put him in positions to lose the game. Let's put him in a position to win the game, and that's where the running game comes in. I think he's going to have a big game. And being at home is going to be so important, because, if this game was on the road, now we're dealing with crowd noise. Yeah. And so we keep him at home. He can hear his plays. He can hear the huddle. He's got time at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was looking back at the 2019 game in the playoffs, and I said, let me go back and kind of review this tape a little bit and look at Jimmy, see how well he performed, because a lot of people are like, he handed off the ball, was on running game a lot. But, looking back, Jimmy actually he made some pretty good passes in that game. I mean, he's not with us no more, but what was our third receiver? The one likes to dance all the time. Yeah. Well, he completed like 2 or 3 good passes. I mean, he threw like 20 to 30-yard passes, and that with Debo also and Kendrick.
He went to New England. Kendrick Bourne,
Kendrick Bourne. Yeah. And made some great passing plays, and they did good. As a matter of fact, I pulled up Jimmy G. Obviously, he lost to them in Week 1 in 2018. I remember that game because I was there. Yeah. And I was kind of like, oh, another rough start for Jimmy G. But when fans were kind of cool, they were like, man, you guys gonna have a good quarterback. They're gonna be pretty good. And I said, yeah, he showed some promise. Well, let me see. Back in 2018, he completed just 15 of 33 passes, threw for 261 yards and 1 touchdown, and he had 3 interceptions. So I lost that one. Lost 24-16. And then the next time he faced Minnesota, the divisional round of the 2019 playoffs, that time he completed 11 of 19 passes, and he threw for 131 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 1 pick, 1 interception, but we got an interception on Cousins in that game too. So balanced out. And we won that game 27-10. So, I think Jimmy's going to have to, he's going to have to focus and just, he's going to have to, I feel he's going to have to throw the ball some, but again, I think it's going to be a good ball control by running it. I think Kyle's going to come in because the Vikings defense against the run is really low. I know they're like 27th or something like that, but they do have a good pass rush though, so pressure beyond, but they're going to have some, let me see, I wrote it down here, but
I just got an alert. I just got an alert 14 minutes ago. 49ers activated linebacker Dre Greenlaw. So it looks like he's going to play.
Yeah. Oh man. So now I just like my composure, but Vikings. Let's see. They have Everson Griffin, defensive end. He's going to be out. So him, and they got I didn't write his name down, but they got the other defensive end too that's going to be out. So from what I understand, the whole kind of front defensive line is it's not going to be the original starters out there. Plus 2 of their safeties, Cameron Bynum, he has an ankle issue, and safety Josh Metellus. He's got something personal going on. He's not going to play. I don't think he is. I guess both those guys are maybe, but they're coming in this game a little dinged up and stuff. So I think it's a prime time for the Niners to take advantage, especially of the running game against these guys, especially if their whole front defensive line is not really going to be playing. Jermichael Hasty, he's still out with the ankle, so he won't play.
He's not going to play.
Yeah, Maurice Hurst, the defensive lineman, he's got the calf. He's doubtful. And Elijah Mitchell, running back, he's dealing with the rib and finger. Yeah, he's questionable. So I have a feeling he most likely won't be out there, but never know. Could be surprising. He might, I don't know how much practice he got during the week. I haven't seen a whole lot of news on that since I've been up here. I've been so busy, but hopefully, you never know. I mean, Elijah Mitchell can come back and the finger ain't too bad. That'll definitely bring, now we don't have to put Debo running back and get him back in his regular exposition, right? Wide receiver, and get out there and make some big plays and hopefully get another big 100-something yards of catches out there and some yak. Get some of that yak.
I think Debo's going to have a big game. I think you got to respect Debo. I think he's going to have a big game.
He's killing it.
I think Kittle is going to have a good game. I think with the running game, it's you could see the balance. You could see guys getting back involved on offense. And I think Kyle Shanahan is in the groove again with his play calling. Something about just keeping things fundamental and balanced. When he was getting too cute, and I think he was under some pressure. The season was young, and he was dialing some play calls that were questionable in my eyes. But I think when you go back into just manage the game, let your defense put them in a position to at least, stop the other side for a couple of, series. And I think if we can make the Vikings one-dimensional and stop that run, then I think it's going to be tee-off season for Bosa and D Ford. I also like how Armstead is playing in the middle for Kinlaw right now. I think that's a good – it's really helped the run defense, right? And so what's the youngster that had 3 sacks in 3 games? He was coming up too on the defensive line. He's making some noise. I can't think of his name off the top of Jones, I think it is. He had like 3 sacks in 3 games.
Oh yeah.
And he was just getting a lot of pressures, and someone had to step up after Kinlaw went out. So now you got D Ford back. I think you got to respect him. D Ford has been a little bit injury prone, but I just feel comfortable knowing he's back. I know that he's got fundamental skills on the edge that are just you can't double Bosa and then single cover D Ford on the edge. So I think there's going to be some if we can stop that run, Kirk Cousins is not going to go anywhere. Yeah. And that's the key. That's the key. He's going to make some mistakes.
Right. And it's good that you bring that up because, you still got to block him. You know what I mean? You got a guy, Key. He's kind of stepping this game up too, man, in the middle. You know what I mean? So, I don't know how much they put him on the defensive end, but, he's been getting some pressures up there. And I mean, so close from getting to that quarterback. So, I like the gameplay. These guys are stepping up. Still got Charles Montague. Right. So I know he's still kind of probably learning his way around the defense a little bit, still finding his little groove. But, but yeah, we got the guys. And I mean, and I think that's a good thing because now you don't have to worry about bringing D Ford back so fast. Get him in, maybe 6, whatever plays, on some third downs or something. But, they can still kind of baby him because, like you said, he's injury prone. Don't want to probably get him out there too much to where, we want this guy to, we're going to need him down the stretch here. You know what I'm saying? So we're making this run and we're going to need D Ford's presence. So, they got a lot of good players, man. That they're checking in, man, and they're just the focus and they're just doing their thing. And I think this is what the 49er faithful has been waiting to see, like all season long, because we knew who we had. Right. We just didn't know how well it was going to come or how fast it was all going to come together. You know what I'm saying? And work real good. But we know what we have. We know. I mean, this to me it's a championship team.
It made sense on paper.
Being there. Yeah,
it made sense on paper. So it was like, what's going on? Is it coaching? Is it? But football is weird, right? You got to play the game. You got to see what guys. I have this superstition when the media gives us too much hype, I get nervous about that. I like when they say nothing good about us. I think we play our best game. When they start telling you we're going to be great and things are looking good and on the up, it never seems to work out like that, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
So I kind of like this back against the wall.
Way.
I like this back against the wall type play because guys are playing loose. You're going to find out who we have on this team. The youngsters are stepping up. You're going to need guys to participate. Everybody needs to ball out. And, I kind of like that. It gets like a club more bonding. Yeah. We don't got no first round picks. So we can't as fans, we can't say, well, we'll get a good pick. So let's do it now. The plan wasn't to get a first rounder this year. So that would have been a disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot you say is so true, and that's why I always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish, because like you said, the game is so strange as that. And I've told you probably, I've repeated like, I don't know how many times, but I've seen other seasons where we've had not the greatest beginning, first half season, but yet later part of the season, we finished pretty strong and sometimes find ourselves in the playoffs. So, you just you have to be patient. Like you said, you have to kind of fight hearing all the crazy, talk from the, sports writers and stuff like that, because, they, as much as like, I love my man, what's his name? Cohen, but Grant? It seems like he's Grant Cohen. Yeah. My boy, you know what I'm saying? But man, he's always like, he's trying to just keep adding to that fire, this whole Lance Jimmy G thing, and I understand his point.
Grant's doing what his dad did.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing devil's advocate. I know what he's doing, but I bet, but it's just like, just kind of, let's see how this thing's evolves, because we're just starting, but one bad thing goes wrong, it's like, oh, start Lance, Jimmy's crazy. I told you he's no good, hey, we got Jimmy's healthy and he's our guy. He's our first starting quarter. We have to play him. They're not going to just say, hey, Jimmy, time for you to go, because now you just, of course, if you're doing that horrible and not winning any games, okay, yeah, you're going to start Lance maybe, but, it's just going to take more than that. You know what I'm saying? But
it's funny.
I feel what you're saying.
I got to chat with Grant a couple of times on Niner radio with my buddy Brian. He's from Chicago. He helps us with the Chicago, invasion every year. And he's friends with Grant and friends with Matt Mayoko. And I think Grant is awesome. But, I also think that he's really writing what Matt Mayoko can't write because he works for the team. So you got. I like that devil's advocate. We go back to the Ira Miller days. You go back to some of the guys that are like, they look for flaws. And I think when you're losing, he had some really good points. And I think as the fans, you want to look at things on a positive level at all times. And the season is young. But when we were making mistakes, you start questioning, we were talking about it. Do you put in Lance for the rest of the season? If we lose, a couple of games last week that we won, no, you can roll with Jimmy G, right? The season is still alive. And you give Lance his time on the bench to continue to learn and grow. And I think that, with that being said, it's a crazy direction in the position that this team is with Shanahan and Lynch, because you spend all that for the third pick in the draft. He's not playing. You want a third pick to play immediately, but this team is still Jimmy G's team. And Jimmy G has not made mistakes to lose his job. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
And I feel comfortable with Jimmy G in there. I don't like seeing our quarterback really run all day because, I fear injury. Right. Yeah. And you got Jimmy G in there, and he's a pocket passer. If the offensive line is blocking, and let's talk about that too. McGlinchey goes out, and I think we're blocking better. I hate to say it. I think we're playing better, and that I think it's pretty crazy how McGlinchey was getting blown up on several plays. And so to see this, and maybe it was, he kind of slimmed down at the tackle position. He looks more like a tight end in his weight. So maybe you got to get a bigger guy. I don't know. But this rotating tackle thing and how there's competition at practice, they're not telling you who's going to start. I like that. Guys are balling on that. When you have someone breathing down your neck at practice, you're going to play a different type of level of play. When you got the job and you got no one, challenging you each week, then, you make a mistake and you're not really tripping off of someone coming and taking your job. I used to wrestle in high school, and when you wrestle varsity, there's challenges every week in the wrestling room, and so you have a challenge if you want to be a varsity guy, right? And so it's football, it's sports, it's that mental. When you have Joe Montana, Steve Young, Joe played his best years with Steve Young breathing down his neck. And then you look at how we handled Steve. Steve probably could have started on any team. You got Lance sitting on the bench. He could probably be a starter on any other team if he's drafted there. But you got this Jimmy G. He's learning the NFL, learning that playbook. I mean, look at Brett Favre and how Brett Favre was starting for Green Bay before Aaron Rodgers came up. And Brett Favre was mad. He was very honest, saying he wasn't going to teach the kid anything. Right. So there's this competition when you got a youngster, you draft this youngster and they're breathing down your neck. Every time you lose, the media is against you. Say, put the youngster in. And it's like, you still got something to play for. Jimmy's playing for a contract right now. Yeah. And, I like that. I think that's important. I think that's important to have. You need guys to be on the edge. You need guys to know that someone could come in and take their job if they're not playing.
That's right.
Well.
That's right. Yes, indeed. And that's so true. And like you said, Steve Young was on Montana's neck, and he was on the sideline for a lot of years. Right, I mean, before he got out there, right? 3 or 4 years, I think. And man, and it did force Joe to, bruised up elbow and everything. He was still out there performing and doing his thing. And he knew he saw what was coming. You know, he's like, man, I got to step my game up, man. Sharing this cat from the LA
Yes.
Generals come in here try to take my job. Shoot, I don't think so. I won already like 3 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Well,
right,
that's
right. And then the monkey off of his back when he wins it all, right? So
yeah,
you know, it
exactly.
all comes together. You know, he had the pressure from the fans. Hey, bring Montana back, right? You got guys that are, and I mean, if you go and read back in those days, they say Montana played even better because of that. And he had some of his that 10-6 year in '88, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then '89, you know, he balled out, beat the Broncos 55-10 because
Yeah,
but that season they were flip-flopping,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and now you got you know when it's goal line plays, Shanahan's going to try to bring in Lance, give him
Right,
everybody in the
right.
stadium knows it's going to be a rollout run, right? So you see this, and you know Jimmy G is a professional. You remember when Alex Smith was dealing with this with Kaepernick,
Yeah,
and you know Harbaugh went with Cap on the playoff run because he brought an element that a lot of people couldn't cover. But I question the pistol offense because I just don't think it's NFL offense. It's more of a college offense. So
right.
I don't know if you go that route. I'm not sure yet because I think
Mm-hmm.
NFL teams have adjusted to the pistol offense, and you can hit the quarterback with a fake handoff because he's now a runner, right? So you don't want your quarterback getting all those hits, and that's what we learned in the 2012 Super Bowl with Kaepernick. They were just teeing off on him
Yeah,
on even if it was a fake. And so I don't like that. You know, when you have guys like, you know, in the 49er, you know, legacy of Steve Young and Joe Montana, you don't want no one touching them. And you
yeah,
want their
exactly.
jerseys to be clean. And yes, you
Right.
got these quarterbacks that are athletes and you got this, but you still need to be the guy that can sit in the pocket and throw that ball down the field.
Yes.
And, you know, if you are going to run, be careful. Let's talk about Jimmy G when he blew his knee out, pulling up out of bounds. You know, you just I don't want to see stuff like that because our
Yeah.
season then changes. And then as fans, it's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? Do we
Right.
just throw in the towel on it? So when injuries happen and when you got a guy like that's quarterback, you don't want no one touching him. So I still feel that Jimmy G is the guy because of that. And I also feel that, you know, maybe Lance does need some time so that he can work on his check downs and work on this offensive play call that Shanahan has for him. Because I don't know if the
Yeah.
pistol offense is a healthy offense for your quarterback.
No, yeah, and you're definitely right, and that's a lot to inhale, man.
Yeah.
That Shanahan offense. I mean, you know, that's not even something you're going to get in just one season. He may know like all the plays, but being out there to execute them all perfectly is a different story against other opponents. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
man, hey, tomorrow is going to be it's going to be off the chain. Like you said earlier, it's going to be like playoff atmosphere going on. And I know you always got it going on down there at the Empire Road, brother. And I know you're going to have to tell and let everybody know what's in store for tomorrow at Levi.
Right. Thank you for bringing that up. So we have 408 Swag in the house. They got DJ Maniacal in the mix, and 408 Squad, the Niner Empire, and we're bringing out a
Yes.
special guest. The special guest is legendary San Quinn from San
San
Francisco.
Quinn. All
San
right.
Quinn, legendary artist out of San Francisco, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to have him. We have the homie Swindler from the Mission District. He's going to come out do some performances as well. So get out there early. Come out there, tip the bartender, make sure to go and enjoy, get your camera ready, and then,
That's
let's
right.
dial it up, get hyped up for this game and get loud because, man,
And
this
you know
is a
what?
playoff game atmosphere right now.
And you won't miss Antonio because this brother will have the mic in his hand all up and down the row. The party is going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he makes sure if you go, I don't know if you want to drop your like Facebook and Instagram, but man, you got the videos on there and you just seen him just turning out man, this brother's like a star, man. The 49ers dripping all over the place, just hyping the faithful up, man. Is having a party, man. I'm like, yeah, man,
It's all love. It's all love. It's all about the fan base. It's all about the Niner Empire organization. It's all about everybody coming together
That's right.
as a unit. I think that just meeting you in Chicago and your wife, it's about being around the same people that have the same energy for this team. It's been
That's right.
we call us faithful. You call us diehards. And I think that it's just important to have that energy because, people might think I'm crazy following the team and going places, but, to travel, to go to different states that I probably wouldn't go to if there wasn't a Niner game there, to see fans all over from different states, it's awesome. And to open up the tailgate for anybody that's traveling, to give them that tailgate experience. And I'll tell you, my father, when he was alive, he started this tailgate thing with me. And then, I passed it on to my kids. And, we used to do the Red Zone and Candlestick. So we would bring the DJs out. We would bring the artists out. And I always think if you give everybody a little treat, add a little artist, add some fun, get some music going. And some of the homies bring out the Bonda bands. And, you got you got a lot of talent out there. So it's actually a unit.
Right.
Empire Row is a whole bunch of groups that come together, and I think it's fun. And that's with how much things cost. I mean, it costs like $60 for parking. You better at least enjoy it and go all out, right? So let's have fun. Come out to Empire Row, Green Lot 1, Pole 20.
Hey, I'm sure that you saw the Jacksonville game, man. Hey, wasn't the faithful out there? I mean, when you have the TV analysts talking about your fan base on national television. I mean, they said half that stadium was full with red 49er jerseys, man. The faithful was out in full force, and I'm telling you, I know there's other teams that got their fans, and some of them do get around and they do their thing too, but no one brings it like the faithful, man. No one brings it like the Niner Empire organization, Empire Row, brother. You know what I'm saying? We're like my boy Green said, we cut from a different cloth, baby.
Right.
We cut from a different cloth, man.
Right. I gotta plug my Raider Nation buddies too. I know a lot of people don't like to say it, but the Raider Nation they follow the Empire, and we were breathing down their neck if they lose that game in Dallas, right? So they're so they're looking at us and they know we travel well. They travel well, we travel well. We're getting ready for next season for the Vegas invasion, which is going to be one of the biggest invasions of all time. So these guys are following us. They know what's up, and they helped us with that Cowboy. Beating the Cowboys helped us, so I that's why we're in the 7th seed. That these teams
that's true
that were doing good are now losing, so that's good.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny because Glory was like, she's so anti-Raiders, but I'm like, babe, listen, we need them to beat the Cowboys right now. I said, I know you, I feel you, I feel where you're coming from. I'm not a big Raider guy. I got a lot of friends though, big Raider fans. Nothing against them, but I said,
but an empire is bigger than a nation. An empire is bigger than a nation.
It has gotten bigger. It has gotten bigger than the nation. They ride hard too. Nothing take away from them, but I'm telling you, empire. I mean, I'm telling you, like you said, you go to some of these places, people coming to me all the time, man, how'd you guys all get together like this? Y'all from the same place? I go, no, we come from all over. We got chapters in all different states, we all come together. How do you guys do that? How do you guys get to know it? Trust me, we got the resources, you know what I'm saying? Social media and everything. Yep. Trust me, it's planned, and we get the word out there to everybody as much as we can. So, but yeah, it's so great to always just meet so many other wonderful faithful out there. And that's why I just same with me, I do this. I love the Niners. I love talking with people that love the Niners like yourself, and I'm just so blessed to have you on the show, be able to come on and do this pregame huddle with me and stuff. It's always fun. And man, like I said, faithful, look for this man down Empire Row, Green Lot 1, Pole 20, right?
Green Lot 1, Pole 20, Empire Row.
Empire Row.
The Niner Empire organization. We got, like I said, 4-weight swag, 4-weight squad. We got the 4-weight Empire. We got a lot of people coming in. We got Saloon Squad from LA coming in this week. So just a lot of squad. So we got a lot of guys coming in, and it's going to be a reunion because we got something to play for. We got something to play for, which makes the tailgate that much funner, right? And we got San Quinn coming out, the legendary
Quinn in the house, man. We got the
So come out, take a picture with Quinn.
Favorite legend. Yeah.
Come out, like play some of the old San Francisco hot songs that used to come out. And man, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see you and the family. And happy holidays, everybody. Man. And let's go Niners, man. Let's go.
Yes, we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it. There's no doubt in my mind. So before we go, I gotta get this from you. What's your final score prediction on Sunday?
I think it's going to be 35-14. I'm going to say Niners 35-14, and this is why. I think that we're going to stop the run. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be one-dimensional, and I think we're going to control that clock again at home. And I think that Jimmy G is going to have a hell of a game. You got to respect Kittle. All eyes are going to be on Deebo Samuels, and maybe Kittle has a big game. And I also think that I think our running game is gonna blow up too. I don't think that this is going to. I think we're dialed in right now. Yeah. And hopefully hopefully I'm right about it. But but I think they're feeling themselves. I think the momentum is there. I think, and then we take this game, and then we worry about the next game. And I was talking about that with you earlier. Yeah. We might have a Navy SEAL trip and head out to Seattle. It's so we'll probably be talking about this, Chili Will, at the game while we're watching it. We might have to book a flight real quick and just pop up in Seattle if this goes well. They need us in Seattle. They need us there.
Yeah. Oh man.
Navy SEAL trip.
Hey, yeah. Well, you hear that, faithful, straight from the man, from Empire Road, man. I'm telling you, Empire. Oh. Man, 49 Empire organization right here. You heard it straight from the man's mouth. Be ready, because we could be going up there, blowing up Seattle, and man, take care of business, man.
Right.
Hey, Antonio, I can't thank you enough, brother, for being on with me. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and blessings to you and the family, man. And it's always a joy when you're here, and I always look forward to having a good old 49er pregame huddle talk with you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, thank you, Chili Will. Thank you for having me. Love the show. Everybody listening, make sure to add Chili Will. Make sure to add his family right here, and let's keep it going, man. I love the energy. Let's keep it going.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hit the like button, subscribe, man. Hit the indication button with all that. Hey, show some love, guys. Show some love, because it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a part soon. I'm sure we're gonna have Antonio. We're gonna have some of the Empire roll up in the house, my boy Los, right? Raj, you know what I mean? Is he? I know he keep telling me I feel bad, but I think, man, probably our next show for that street squad, we might just have to get everybody on there, just
Los has good stories, man. His version of stories crack me up, man. Los tells me stuff that I forget through the years, and so he brings an element of a view of things from 20 years of this tailgating stuff. So yeah, and Raj, the whole the Niner Empire organization, and we support you guys. We support 49er Street Squad. I got nothing but love for you and the family, and I'm happy that this is kicking off really well for you guys.
All right. Appreciate the love, brother, man. It's been awesome, man. All right, so faithful, tomorrow, Sunday, 125. Be out there. Be out there in the green lot, man. Go down Empire Road. You heard Antonio say it's going to be jumping. It's going to be jumping. You can't miss it, because it just has all the flags are all out there, right in the middle practically in the middle of the parking lot, right? So
yes.
You can't miss it, and you're going to have a great, great time. So if you're coming in from out of town, or if you guys are watching from out of town, that's where you got to go. In front of Levi Stadium, green lot 1, hole 20, Empire Road, man. It's going to be jumping off. All right, my brother. I'll let you go. Thank you, Antonio, again. Bless you, my man. All right.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Let's get this W.
Let's get this W. Let's go.
All right.
Let's see you tomorrow, Chili Will. Have a good one, man.
All right, my brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
So once again, I want to thank my guest, Antonio Arevalo, for being on the 49er Street Squad pregame huddle. Man, this is how we do it, man. It's always just so fun, man. It's always so fun to talk Niners before the game, after the game, or anytime, even off season. It's always great to talk about the Niners, man. So again, thank you, Antonio, for being on with me. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I look forward to seeing the faithful tomorrow. And you know what, guys? Always to stay 49er strong, because remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, baby. Let's go Niners.